evening, and we're recording. Hi, everybody. This is Joella Newman, and tonight I have a dear friend, an awesome coach with me, Susan Bradley-Boartfield. And so I have Transforming Your Tomorrows as my business and life coaching company. And from that was born this whole process of creating lives or Facebook Lives, live streaming on Facebook on Wednesday nights. And so what I do on Wednesday nights, if you guys have followed us, is really hosting coaches from all walks of entrepreneurship. And it's my joy to introduce different genres, different entrepreneurs, and tell you a little bit about them and have you hear their story of overcoming maybe challenges they had as a businesswoman, right? As a business person, although I haven't had any men lately in a long time, so I should do that. But, and then how they, conquered those challenges, but then to really have you get to know how juicy they are in their subject matter expertise. And they're unique. And even if I have like 2 feng shui masters or 2 coaches, or it doesn't matter, each person is so unique and so beautiful that I love having them on. So if you'll sit back and enjoy the next few minutes, it's my pleasure to host Susan Bradley-Boartfield.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored and happy to be here. It's so awesome. I love playing with you. You know that.
I know. And I first met Susan at a very hard time in my life. And I still get goosebumps and get emotional, but she just so calmly helped me through that and mind you guys, you have to remember, I hadn't spoken to her. I didn't know her, but I just said, okay, this is what's happened in my life. I'm crying. I'm literally out of control because it was a huge loss in my life. And so Susan, I not only felt healed. I mean, I had a death, and it would take time to heal, and it's still, at the surface, but it would take time to heal this loss. And so just to go through who Susan is to me is someone who, and we were talking about a program that she was, putting on. And so it was really, she was there to, possibly get a new client, but her level of service was so not in that. In fact, I did join her program, but she serviced me that day. She provided the nurturing and the listening and the healing. And, even as immediate as it was, she began that healing. And so I've had the joy of just knowing Susan for maybe 2 years. But going through her program as a coach, I was a certified coach already, but I believe with all my heart that I could not be here where I am today without having gone through her 6 to 9 month program. It truly shifted how I serve you in the world, how I show up for you. And so I love her. I could go on and on, but the reason I wanted to set that stage is I want Susan to share with us those challenges as becoming an entrepreneur, and then all of a sudden meeting people like me who have big emotional issues going on, and then still being able to get them as a client, and other challenges that she may have experienced that might help you, whether you're a coach or not. It's analogous. It's the same thread of being able to connect. And so I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let you share that beautiful story of you.
That was so beautiful, Joellen. Thank you so much. I just believe that nobody comes to me by accident, right? And your wound was so fresh.
It was raw, yeah.
And so tender, but you had this big dream and you were full of passion and you just had this desire to serve. And so I have so much honor and respect for you because you didn't lay down and die. You didn't shut the shades and put the covers over your head, right? Which most people would have.
Maybe, I don't know.
I do, right? So your desire to serve trumped even your own emotional state, right? That's how much you want to help others. That's how much you want to share your wisdom and your gifts with people. So, you know, I don't believe anyone, because you've met those people that have come to me, and you have to admit too, they're just beautiful, like
Yeah. Yeah.
amazing. I'm like so blessed when it comes to who comes to me. And so when I met you, you know, I just had so much respect and admiration for, you know, what you were going through, but also what you wanted to accomplish, and your unwillingness to not do what you came here to do, regardless.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
I think our stories are bigger than us. You know?
Yeah. And
I
at any given time, we can just, you know, use our story to give up, to use our story as an excuse, right?
right.
And
It's a choice.
it's a choice, and there's no right way or wrong way, but it is the choices that we make. So I'm so honored and blessed to have witnessed your journey since then. And, you know, look at you now. Look at all the success and what you've accomplished over. I mean, you've had a rough 2 years. People don't
It's
even have a clue.
no, no. It's funny because I was talking to a shaman earlier today, and I was talking to her about, you know, the difference of being in our quarantine, being sequestered, right, and trying to share my message. And how do I do that when we're sequestered? You know, because we used to have the belly to belly to invite new people, right?
Right.
And how do we invite new people? You know, when you don't want to invade, you know, how do you do that without knowing them? And so we talked about that a little bit. And her primary message was, and as you have taught me, I first heard it from you, is just share your story. Just
Yep.
share your story. And it really is about connection and that wholesomeness. But when you first got started, how did you as a coach go from, say, 0 to what you have now too?
It's just like having the passion, right? I
Right.
just had, I mean, you know that I became a coach because I had to find a career that I could do from bed. I was bedridden.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's, you know, I lost my career. I was bedridden for a year, and I decided to become a coach. And, you know, the divine will have its way, right? Your path, you can try to stay over here, but your path is persistent. So,
Right.
you know, I just started talking to people, and because I was so excited about what I was doing, and I was so passionate like you about what I was doing and what I wanted to accomplish, it's that energy, that vibration that just drew people to me. It wasn't that I'm like, oh, I didn't have any marketing tricks.
Right.
My first webinar, by chance, my first webinar for the playground, you were in the second year of the playground, but the first year, I'm doing this webinar, I'm thinking they're seeing all the slides. You know, I had like 80 slides or something like
gosh.
that.
Wow.
And I'm talking, I'm going, and I'm thinking they're seeing all the slides, and the slides, they didn't see the slides. I didn't like completely share, you know, I didn't like completely share the slides. And then, you know, but I'm going and I have all this passion and I'm really excited about what I'm doing. And then the sales page wouldn't work.
Oh, wow.
And I still had 7 people enroll with
Wow.
no slides, no sales page.
But that's a story. But what's really interesting, and I'm hearing two things. One, that both of us had really difficult situations that we rose above.
Yeah.
But what was so unique with you, and I'd love for you to share it, because you're a coach who embodies spirit in to the message. And you guys, if you can notice, and I don't know if anybody's on live with us tonight, I haven't seen it, but it will be posted again, so everybody will see it if they don't see it right now. But you embody spirit, you channel spirit. And when you were bedridden, literally for a year, you guys, that spirit literally started speaking through her. And I think in many ways, it's a little bit about the story. And thank God you didn't have a I don't know, maybe you did have a near-death experience. I know you were on a boatload of meds.
Yeah, I was.
And, you know, like 20 pills or more, I think, a day. I remember you telling me and sharing with me. And it's like, screw this. I don't want to live this way. But spirit really started talking to you, and your messages that come through spirit, I think, are really inseparable with how you coach. And in much the same way you helped nurture me through that day of our interview.
Yeah.
So I think I'd love for you to talk about that, because it's so beautiful that I don't have any other word for it.
Thank you. So we all know, you know, when you go through your awakening, it's a different experience for everyone, right? Well, mine was very painful and very messy. It was a year of electrical currents going through my hands and my feet, and I couldn't really walk, and I couldn't work, and I couldn't really hold a conversation. I was on 22 pills and a pain patch, a fentanyl patch.
Wow.
And the doctors told me that they suggested that I get a pain pump inserted in my body and just get, you know, my monthly fill up of morphine. I was shopping for wheelchairs when I had my awakening. And,
Wow.
and it was like the skies parted. You know, as a child, I was very intuitive. As a child, I was very open. I was very intuitive. I had a spirit guide that stayed with me. It was a older boy. It was like he was 19 or 21. I couldn't see it. I could see him, but my family couldn't. So I was definitely a weirdo.
I love it. I
was a weirdo, right?
I'm just inviting some friends too. So what you're
okay, awesome. Thank you. So during that awakening, it was like the skies parted, and you know, that the divine spoke to me. And in that moment, I knew what I had to do to heal, and I understood that I had the choice to heal. It was a choice. So when I decided this wasn't going to be my story, I actually healed within 4 months.
Wow.
So, you know, yeah, that's pretty amazing. But when you met me, like when I invited you into my program, I never told anybody that I was a channel. And when you got into a session with me, it became apparent, but it wasn't something that I talked about. It wasn't something that I made public, because I didn't want people to have high expectations of me, meaning like, I'm not a psychic, right? I'm not a psychic. I just, they give me images that I interpret, and sometimes they make words glow or something like that. So, so this is the first time the first interview I'm talking about it really in public, that yes, you get all of me and my team.
Right.
With me.
But it's so, but when you coach or when you teach other coaches, right, through your program, and you can share a little bit about that too, is that it is apparent. It's not like segmented, like, okay, I'm going to channel now. Like some people, they're channelers. I'm going to channel now, and I'm going to get a message, and then I'm going to talk to you this way. And it wasn't like that. It is such a, you embody the spirit that it in fact embodies you, I guess.
Yes.
But it's, but it's in the natural flow of conversation. So if you guys will notice, she's probably, even in this interview, sharing, you see how her hand will go. She's getting messages, yes. And so it's what's so beautiful about that is that it always comes from love. And even I didn't understand some messages sometimes, like, wow, what does that mean? And so I had to learn, oh, okay, how to look at things differently. And so I think Susan, you know, she doesn't segment that portion of it. It just comes through. And I think that's really, not everybody does that. It's like, for me, if I'm doing a reading, it may be part of my coaching.
Yeah.
It may not be. Depending on who I'm coaching, but it will, okay, do you want me to pull a card or 2 cards, or, you know, it's a little bit segmented, you know, whereas it literally encompasses, it just is who you are, and it just participates as if there's no separation. And I love that. I love the gentleness of it, and I love the love. I mean, just knowing that what you do is always in service. And I think that you're not a coach who ever forgets that.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
So,
you're gonna make me cry. It's like the 3rd time I have tears coming to me.
But you know, it's so funny. I have to share. I was very nervous. It's like, and now, you know, but I get nervous before these shows anyway. It's just, you know, we're putting ourselves out there. This is who I am today. I'm not the, you know, the corporate person I was before. And, you know, we grow and we represent ourselves differently, right? For me, it was a big shift. And so I'm always a little bit nervous, but the truth is, it comes so easily because this is how I describe you. You know, this is what my experience, you know, has been my journey with you. And I think even if I often talk about getting in a neutral position, and being an observer, right? Distancing ourselves from a situation. But even watching you through others, you know, interact with others, other coaches, you're the same way, you know, you just embody this spirit. And I think what I'd like to also talk about is your particular coaching program, because now you call it.
Well, I just have a brand new program for brand new coaches.
Oh, okay.
This program is for, the playground will be coming back.
Oh, okay.
The program that you were in, because I'm looking at all of your successes and it's incredible, right? So that will be coming back in the future, but right now I have a program, a 12-week program for brand new coaches.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, so to jumpstart your coaching success. And I'm gifting the first 4 modules to new coaches, which is nail your niche, master your message, set up your scheduler, and then create your content. So
that's really powerful. See, again, she goes over and above because 4 weeks, you know, is a gift, and I'm sure they have to commit to the 12 weeks in order to get that. You can't go 4 weeks and say, oh no, I'm out.
Nope, they can.
Really?
It's my new freebie for new coaches.
Wow.
Because the world right now, there's so many people awakening and shifting and transitioning into a new way of showing up in the world.
Wow.
The world needs coaches, right?
Right.
So,
wow, that's pretty powerful. That is pretty powerful.
Yeah. No obligation. The first 4 weeks are completely free, my gift. And right away, so in the first 4 weeks, you have everything you need to receive paying clients.
Right.
And then, but there's way more.
There is. There is. Believe me, you know, I wasn't a new coach, but I wasn't, you know, obviously further along in my career and where I am now. And I was overwhelmed. It's like, how do I do that? You know, the fear, and she just walks you through it. It's like, all right, let's break this down, you know, and it's so cool. And that's why I honestly can say I'm where I'm at today, because I had a really good foundation to say, okay, do you know how to make your opt-in and use Canva and, you know, blah, 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 all these other, you know, do your Be Lives. And that is when I started doing Be Lives at that time, Facebook Lives.
You started
I might have done, yeah, but I really started, you know.
Your Facebook show.
Yeah, I did. I started a show because I'd done a few lives, but I didn't have a show. And then I learned about Be Live. And I will say we're Zooming. I'm using Zoom because it's a much more stable platform.
And it makes you look prettier. I don't know what it is, but Zoom makes you look prettier.
Yeah, okay, I'll take anything, you know, any help is accepted, you know.
But like, I look so much better.
You always look good. But I think you know, I think if people are watching, there's a few key takeaways. One, and we often hear this from whether you're an artist, you know, an actor or a dancer who really excel in their field. What Susan and I have both done is we didn't give up on pretty difficult situations. I mean, really difficult. They were not a walk in the park. And the pain that you know, a pain pump, for God's sakes, and just a year in bed. I mean, I can't even imagine. I can imagine because I was a nurse, but I can't imagine because I've never experienced it. And the, you know, even the fear of bed sores, for God's sakes, you know, is it?
But now I think of it as the greatest gift ever given to me.
See, and that is really cool. That's what coaches learn. They learn how to shift, and they learn how to help clients shift, right? Or other coaches. And it's like, we've both, but you really took a very, very difficult physical situation that can play on your emotions, play on your psyche, and you not only made a conscious decision, but you accepted spirit to work through you and work with you, and then continued to shift and say, I can do this in a different way. And that's what you did. You moved out of that to create your entire coaching business, and from there now coach these beautiful new coaches, as well as people like me who've been doing it for a while. And you know, so I think that's what's really key. I mean, you've got a couple of different levels, but the tenacity, I guess, and the perseverance, but also beyond that, the recognition that we always have more to learn, and we always are upping our games in order to serve.
Yes. Yes.
know?
So what I love about my guides, what they show me is they allow me to see you already fully realized.
Oh, wow.
Right? So I already see, like, I see you as a success way before you can even comprehend it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, like I had a client, Charlotte, and I could clearly see her on stage. I could see her, what she was wearing. And sometimes I see just one-on-ones, you know what I mean? But I see my clients fully realized. And so then I know where you're going. And then they help me, guide me to help get you there.
I think that's so powerful. I think it's so, I mean, I don't know, as we continue to replay, I want to make sure that people know how to get in touch with you. So I'll put that in the descriptions,
Okay,
the description
beautiful.
area for the Facebook, because on Zoom, I had my ticker that where it said, you know,
Yeah, Be Live.
That's the type of the show, and then the contact, the footnote at the bottom, the contact. So that will be in the description. But I think if if you're out there and you're struggling and you don't know what to do and you're overwhelmed, I think if you need a program, Susan has a beautiful program for beginning coaches, as well as for those who are further along in their coaching. You know, I think it's very cool. Whereas differently, I work with entrepreneurs in totally different fields. I tend not to work with coaches. I mean, I haven't, you know, I think I've got a great colleague to send them to. And if she had other entrepreneurs who were not coaches, she'd probably be sending them to me, right? So I think
very much coaches, very much.
Yes, yes. And I think really helping them get started. So in the description of this will also be on YouTube. It will be on my Facebook, the main page, so that you can take a look at it, and I'll share it with everybody as well. But with that, I just adore you, Susan. Is there anything else you want to share before we wrap up?
I just want to let everybody know that you have the ability to receive the wisdom and knowledge yourself, right? It's just a matter of going in within and just tapping in and asking, right? Because that ego can be very, very loud.
Yes.
And so, but your higher self, your soul is always speaking to you. So just tune in, take command of that little bugger, right?
Yes, yes.
So, and tell it to pipe down and just practice going within. And I just started by saying, you know, just inviting my guides every single day and just saying, you know, I ask that your wisdom and knowledge be mine. I ask that your voice be my voice for my highest good as well as the good of all. And so then, you know, then the pictures, and sometimes they're very humorous, and and the messages would come and I would just know how to interpret them. And so you have the ability to do that as well. We all have the ability, especially right now in this global shutdown. This is an up-leveling. This is really meant for all of us to go within and decide what it is we truly want.
Right.
And
yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think it is a transformational time, which is why, speaking to your, you know, your comment earlier in the show, is that it's why we need more coaches. We have an opportunity to help people because we've already been there at some level. And then I have my own coach. I'm sure you have, I mean, of course you have your guides.
We all have,
right. We all have we all have them. And I think it's an opportunity to say, I don't have to ever be alone. I always have somebody at my back, at my side. And I think that we can overcome, and we can overcome together. It's not a me society, it's a we society that we're becoming. And if you just look at in your own personal life, you know, like we are presenting this show for you tonight, hoping that you can hear
what you're doing, what you're putting out there in the world, what you're doing for your clients, what you're doing for entrepreneurs is just so amazing. And I know your heart, and I know your tenacity, and I know I'm never going to give up, and she will never give up on you. She will never give up on you. She will hold the space. She will show you the way. And, you know, so, you know, connect with Joellen if you're an entrepreneur. And if you're a coach, come play with me.
Yes. Yes. She has a beautiful playground.
Yes, I love to play. So play with me.
Oh, thank you, Susan. This has been fun, really, really fun. And on that, we're going to close up tonight's show, but thank you for listening. I hope you all get to see the replay. And if you like it, please share, because we're building too. We want to be able to share that message with people. But thank you. Thank you, Susan. I loved it.
Okay, love you.
Bye. Bye, you guys.